Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Bread with Roy. As usual, I'll be hosting, and we're going to be doing the same thing that we do every day, every episode, and that is just simply read the Bible. A little bit early this morning, it's weekend. This happens to be a weekend, and it's very, very early in the morning, and I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. So, my apologies if I'm too quiet. Uh, the kids are sleeping, and I don't have a very big place, and I don't want to I'm trying not to disturb them. I'm trying not to wake them up. So I'm going to continue along. It's a small enough place that if I speak too loud, so that I could disturb them. It's 3:40 in the morning, and it's just one of those mornings where you wake up and you're wide awake. And so, what better time to wake up and just get in tune with God? So here we are. Let's just get right into it. No time to waste. Okay, we're continuing to read in Numbers, and we're going to continue. We left off at the end of 22, and we're going to start in 23. And Balaam said unto Balak, Build me several, pardon me, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. And Balaam said unto Balak, Stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure the Lord will come to meet me, and whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to a high place, and God met Balaam, and he said unto him, I have prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. And the Lord put a word into Balak's mouth, and said, Return unto Balak, and thus thou shalt speak. He returned to him, and lo, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, he and the princes of Moab. And he took up his parable, and Balak the king of Moab hath brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come curse me, Jacob, and come defy Israel. How shall I curse whom God hath not cursed? Or how shall I defy who the Lord hath not defied? So what's happening right here is they want to curse Israel, but that's the one thing that God is protecting them. And he's saying you can't curse them, or you can't defile them, because I'm protecting them. Whom can count the dust of Jacob, and the number of the fourth part of Israel? Let me die, the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. And Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse thine enemies, and behold that thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak to that which the Lord hath put in my mouth? And Balak said unto him, Come, I pray thee, with me unto one come with thee, I pray thee, with me unto another place, from whence thou seest them. Thou shalt see but the uttermost part of them, and shalt not see them all, and curse me them from hence. And he brought him unto the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar. And he said unto Balak, Stand here by thy burnt offering, while I meet the Lord yonder. And the Lord met Balaam, and put a word into his mouth, and said, Go again unto Balak, and say this. And when he came to them, behold, he stood by the burnt offering, and the prince of Moab with him. And Balak said unto him, What hath the Lord spoken? And he took up his parable, and said, Rise up, Balak, and hearken to me thou son of Zippor. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandments to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath he seen perverseness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him. And the shout, and that's the, I'm going to read that one over, that one. But what's basically happening here in chapter 23, to kind of be able to keep up to it, is Balaam is not really a servant. I don't know if we've really been able to catch on to this. Balaam pronunciations are probably therefore a little bit gnarly, so forgive me on that one. But we're looking back back there in the beginning of 23, where and the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, Return unto Balak, and thou shalt speak. And the one thing we got to understand is that Balaam is not really a true servant of God. Okay, he's one of those things where he wants the blessings of God. He wants to feel the blessings of God, but it's kind of one of those things where we don't necessarily want the work. But the words that he spoke were true blessings of God. So God is speaking to Balaam, but Balaam is not really, it's the idea, this concept that he wants to feel the blessings and he wants to hear the blessings, but he's not willing to do the work to be blessed. And so, and like what it's saying, and he's returned unto him, and lo, he stood in his burnt sacrifice, he and the prince of Moab. So, and also when you got to realize too, is the prince of Moab actually kind of hired Balaam and Balak to curse Israel, and that can't happen. And you've seen that numerous times where he's made his comments. Basically, he says, "How can I do that? How can I curse what God has protected?" So, in verse 8, he looks at him and he says, How shall I curse whom God hath not cursed? Or how shall I defy whom the Lord hath not defiled? So clearly, one thing that Israel probably doesn't even know what's happening at this point is that God is protecting them. God is protecting Israel, and they don't even know it. I think that's kind of a little bit of a message there. If you think back in your life, has God ever really protected you and you never known it? And I would have to say absolutely yes. I know I can think back in my life. I didn't even realize God was protecting me. And he was. Let's move on. Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he hath blessed, and I cannot reverse it. And that's another great point right there. God is speaking to Balaam. Nothing he can do about it. He hath not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither hath he been perverse, hath seen perverseness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. God brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what God hath wrought. Now, I want to be very, very clear about something right there. There wasn't actual unicorns like you would be thinking. There is a translation for that, and in the original Hebrew text, it's an animal that's actually mentioned 9 times in the Bible as a re'em. My pronunciation is probably very, very, very spot off. Re'em. And it's an animal, like I said, it's mentioned about 9 times, and it's translated unicorn, but also known as the oryx, or the oryx, O-R-Y-X. And in modern Hebrew, it kind of translates to wild ox or wild bull, even buffalo. possibly even a rhinoceros. So if you think about that, the unicorn was a rhinoceros. So, um, and that one makes more sense when you look at it coming from that part of the earth. When you look at it, a rhinoceros, a rhino, is probably the closer translation, simply because in that area, that's where rhinos you'll find, right? In the waterways, not on the waterways. My apologies, I was thinking of hippos, but you will find rhinos in that region, in that general region. So I think unicorn's reference, not I think, I mean, the unicorn's reference is to that of a rhinoceros, um, not an actual horse. The mythological unicorn does not exist. We'll continue. Verse 24. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain. And Balak said unto Balaam, neither curse them at all, nor bless them. But Balaam answered and said unto them, told not I thee, saying, all that the Lord speaketh, that I must do? So they're having the conversation among themselves. Hey, do I curse him? Do I not? No, don't curse him. Don't bless him. And he's Balaam saying, well, God's telling me to do this, so I've got to do whatever he tells me. And Balak said unto Balaam, come, I pray thee, I will bring thee unto another place. Peradventure, it will please God that thou mayest curse them from thence. And Balak brought Balaam unto the top of Peor, that looketh toward Jeshimon. And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar.